Well, good morning, and to our friends joining us abroad, good evening. Welcome to Mirage Talks. Today, we welcome founder and CEO of Botanima Organics, Gilad Shatayat, who is going to share with us the journey from software to cannabis. Gilad, thank you so much for joining us today.
So hello, everyone, and it's a pleasure being here. And among this, let me start the presentation. I hope you see it and hear me correctly. Is it fine, Christine?
It looks great.
Okay. So thank you very much for joining me for this session. And actually, I was looking at on the distinguished list of presenters in the past few weeks, and I'm not a professor or I don't know, cyber genius, but Elliot Yonkin thought that I may be with interest for some people. Then of course I said yes. So with your permission, I'll start with a very short introduction of myself. Talk about what's in it for you. For those of you who listen, with God's help, I'll be able to bring some value or interest to you, to some of you at least. And when Ellie asked me to share my experience with you, I thought that if I'll just present some dry graphs of the cannabis or the CBD industry, it would be boring, and you can find it in Google. So I decided to do some things that I never done before and to share, to open my life, share some personal experience with you. Some of you, like Guy Uzeri, know it and know those things, but to just walk through life and share some major insights from major people that I met through life. And then we'll talk about Botanima Organics, which is the current adventures that I'm dealing with right now on the CBD market. Then we'll sum things up, and I see that most of the people are from Israel, so hopefully I'll be boring enough to give you a good night's sleep, or if you're from Toronto or anywhere else in the other side of the ocean, you'll be able to have a very good afternoon nap. So I'm Gilad. I have 3 kids. By the way, this is in Vietnam. We're backpacking Vietnam a few years ago. My background goes in software, actually. In the past 2.5 years, I founded Botanima Organics, which is a company that helps people fight aging symptoms with CBD. We'll talk about it later. And that's me in a nutshell. Most important is your takeaways. What's in it for you? So we'll go and ask Ellie. Maybe Ellie knows what's in it for you, because he asked me to be here. But most seriously, what I promised to you is to share with you things that I learned throughout my life from the smartest, the most important people that I've met, and to share with you some insights from the defining moments that I have, not only in my career, by the way, not only through my career. Hopefully it will help. And if not, and if it will be boring enough, then at least you'll have a good night's sleep or an afternoon nap. So let's jump right into it. After you'll admit that this is the most beautiful branding that you ever saw in life. And then we can start. So my mother, in the past few months, she always asked me, Gilad, you studied computer science, you were in high-tech software. How come you're dealing with skincare products, with creams and gels and tinctures and stuff like that? What is it to do? Help me connect the dots, as Steve Jobs said. And to be honest, when I look back, I can definitely connect the dots. I started my career in the Air Force, spent a few years over there. And then it was quite obvious to me that there's a huge world out of it. I was very curious. I wanted to see some other things, to do some other things. And my first stop, which I'd like to share with you, was Orsus Solution. That was a software company, a startup. And we developed situation management systems. It's like a cockpit, but on the ground for control room. And I think one of the most important persons in my life, especially in the professional life, is Aryeh Feingold that you see over here. Unfortunately, he died. He had Parkinson and he died, but I spent a few years with him. By the way, I learned that no matter how much money you have, wouldn't help if you don't have your health. So whenever Aryeh was a serial entrepreneur, he founded Daisy Systems, Ready System, Mercury Interactive. He made hundreds of millions of dollars, very, very successful man, very open We had a very good relationship, and he absolutely, most definitely let us do whatever we like in the company. I was young, tons of motivations. I was with a few friends. We were all full of motivations, hopefully some talent, and he just let us do whatever we like. If we wanted to touch sales, do sales. Do something with the product, whatever we like. Marketing, just whatever we like. And I once asked him, Arya, how come you trust me so much? How come you let me do all those things? And he gave me this sentence, Gilad, I never stop a running horse. And he says, if you have someone that you believe in, even if he's making tons of mistakes, just let him run. Don't stop a running horse. And this is a sentence that I love, and I try to do with my employees and with my kids on a daily basis. Another anecdote is, again, with Arya, which I can relate to after 15 years. Once we were going on up in the elevator, and the QA manager, Eyal, he asked him, Arya, what does a company need to succeed? Because he had, I think it was after 4 exits or something like that. And he said, do you really want to know? And we said, yes. And he said, in one word, luck. So you need to be a hard worker, you need to have some talent, yes, but you need luck. That's the most important thing. So what's the next question? So Arya, does Ursus, do we have luck? And this is where he said, do you really want to know? And indeed, Ursus was acquired by NICE, not a big exit. It was like, okay, so obviously we didn't have so much luck, but it was a good lesson for us. And by the way, feel free to stop me for any question that you like. It will be much more interesting to turn it into a conversation than continue with this boring PowerPoint presentation with amazing animation, top notch of today's technology. I'll go back to connect the dots. Then I think that what drives me the best is people. It's different culture, different people, meeting people. And those dots over here is, different places that I traveled in business in throughout my career. And for me, it's fascinating to negotiate software or cream or manufacturing of packages. It doesn't matter in China, and then a week after in England or Denmark, and then South Africa and all over the world. I think that's fascinating. I think that when you have a company with diverse people from different culture, when you have management from different cultures, it always brings you higher, more creative, more innovative. I love it. Also got the chance to live in Slovenia for a few years, for a few months, which was excellent in the Bay Area. And I love traveling and meeting other people, which brings me to my second tip. And my second tip is most definitely go travel Tibet and Guatemala. So Tibet is the most interesting and beautiful place around the world. Fascinating culture. I've been there, by the way, I've done quite a lot of backpacking. I learned from every trip, but if I can recommend the next vacation, it's Tibet. We'll touch Guatemala in just a bit. So let's talk a bit about defining moments and major insight. This is where I'll get, it will get creepy and I might cry or whatever, so stop me if it gets annoying at a certain point. Let's start with this nice gentleman on the right. He's not a cop, the guy with the blue shirt. It's my brother. He was older than me in about 2 years, and he used to be my brother, I should say. His name is Omri, and he passed away in an extremely unexpected way in 1996. He got a heart attack. He was completely healthy and in a physical training in the best. He just in the base. I just got a heart attack one shiny day. Not a fun thing for the family, but what I learned from this is that nothing is obvious in life. Nothing, everything can change every morning, every moment, every second. Nothing is granted, and we must enjoy the journey every day. Okay, when we're young, we think only about the exit. No. We need to enjoy the journey. We need to enjoy life because it can end in every second, and we must enjoy it. Most important, Grandma is always right. Okay, she's always talking about keep your health safe, keep your health. And if you think about my brother or Arya Feingold, you can have tons of money. Doesn't matter if you don't have your health, you're not happy. And that's why my kids know there's only one rule in our family, and it is don't die. It's illegal to die. You can jump, you can break a leg, you can break an arm. It's illegal to die. You can't die. Other than that, everything is keep your health, keep you safe. Everything else is fine. We can deal with everything else. Let's move forward. So I've seen this picture before. So it's about time to talk about the other guy on the left over here. So the smiling, nice gentleman over here is my father, who raised me up, of course, with my mom, since I was born in 1972 until about 6 months ago when he passed away. Now I learned many things from this gentleman over here, from my dad, and I can definitely tell you that I had the best dad in the world, for sure. Some people in the audience can admit. But if there was one thing that pushed me to anywhere I got in life, it's this sentence. And it's no matter what I wanted to do or dreamt of, every stupid thing that I wanted to do, he always said, you can do it. You have the skills, your ability, you're talented, you go for it, go for it, go for it, you'll do it. I wanted to buy an apartment, go for it. I wanted to open a startup, you'll do it, you go for it. You know, throughout life, I thought that all dads are the same. Every father thinks that his boy can do everything. I thought that every father treats his boy like that. Now I found out that it's not the same. So I'm telling you, if you have a kid, a daughter or a son, that's the way to handle it. If you want, you know, trust them. It gave me so much confidence and trust to do whatever I like, push me to where I am today. So that's another tip for you in life. And again, my father as well never stopped me from doing crazy things, which I did, especially when I was a kid. We talked about celebrating life. So that's, by the way, my dad in March 2020, about 8 months before he passed away, unexpectedly, by the way, a heart attack, but he's dancing with, when everybody was already panicked with COVID and stuff like that, he was dancing in Brazil. His dream was to travel to the Iguazu and to be in the carnival. So that's another lesson. At the age of 80, go dance with Brazilian dancers. Celebrate life till the last moment, till your grave, okay? Even if there's COVID, meet your kids, meet your grandchildren, kiss them, have fun because it may end. And that's another lessons from this happy person, which brought me to be whom I am today. So we talked about Guatemala and we talked about riding horses. So what you see over here in this picture, by the way, I guess some of you can recognize this place. And so this is Lago de Atitlan. In Guatemala, in San Marcos, and the trampoline, it's a 9-meter jump, and that's my kid over here, it's Jonathan. Back then he was 6 years old, he didn't know to swim, he didn't know how to swim. Some of you in the audience know that I'm afraid of heights, I hate heights, and Jonathan really wanted to jump. We were walking past this trampoline, he really wanted to jump, and I said, no way, and insisted. And then I said, you know, what the heck? I told my wife, I'll go, I'll jump. I'll see if it's okay, we'll let him jump. So I went back, I jumped, and it was a nightmare. You dive too deep, there's no air, you go, you know, too long until you go up, until you float, no way. So I was in the water, I was looking up to him, and he insisted. He said, Daddy, I'm gonna jump. And I said, no, you don't have to, you know. But then he jumped, and you look at him, he's just like Jesus. He was balanced, he was flying, it was perfect. I was happy as hell, okay? Because you never stop a running horse, right? He wanted to jump, so go for it, even though he didn't know how to swim. So we landed just next to me. You can see the splash over here just next to me. And then the happiness, the pure happiness turned into anxiety, panic, because it disappeared in the water. The water was green, wasn't transparent, I couldn't see him, and it looked like forever. Until he floated back, but then he did, and then happiness again. So this ups and downs in life, you know, pure happiness, panic, my kid is dead, and then floating back, and so much happiness. And I learned that a second in life is so much time, you know, it's tons of time. You know, people die, women give birth, empire crashes, companies are built, and so on. So you need to respect every moment, and more than all. And that's a motto for me in life. It's always the darkest before dawn. Now, there's a beautiful Hebrew song about it. תמיד הכי חשוך לפני עלות השחר. And I truly believe in this sentence. Even in the darkest moment, the company is about to close, there's no money in the bank, you need to raise money, someone is sick, whatever. Even the worst example, the sun will shine, it's going to be better. There's another cycle. And I truly believe in that sentence. And it's another sentence, another lesson that I wanted to share with you. And that this branding is just awesome. I think it's beautiful. I love it. And so how the hell did I ended up doing creams and tinctures, and you can see those things and other, as my mother says, what's in, how come? So it started in RotaReview. RotaReview was a company that I used to be the CEO. I had it with a few friends, and we set a goal to set the standards for presenting products online. We had a very smart platform for presenting products in 360 or 3D. It was simple, fast, and affordable. And back then at the time we had a term sheet to raise some interesting sum or to acquire the company. We had a proposal from a British company to acquire the company. It was like a big dilemma if we should raise the money and build the company even larger or just sell it. It wasn't nice. It wasn't a big exit. Would it be to return the money to the investors? We had about 45,000 customers, users, and just let go and move to the other direction, to the other adventure. And what I learned in RotaReview is that timing is everything. First of all, I think talking about technology, we're a bit ahead of the market. E-commerce was big, but it's not even close to what it is now. The budgets were different. And I think timing was everything. If we would go up right now, I think it was much better. But more than that, and I promised you that's the last sad story that I'll share with you, even though the other stories were happy until now. Well, this is truly a sad story, but that's the last one. I swear to God. When we had this term sheet to raise money or an offer to acquire the company, my best friend gave me a call and said, Gilad, my daughter is sick. And what you see in this picture on the right hand side, this is Amit. She's my older daughter. She was 12 back then. And the left side, this is Zohar. Zohar is my best friend daughter. And she was 12. And guess what? She got pancreatic cancer at the age of 12. I think that this was the biggest crisis in my life, certainly for her parents, but also for myself. Talking about timing, I called my friends and I said, let's sell, kid, there's only one kid. Companies, you can build companies, we can close companies, money comes, money goes, but kid, there's only one life. Maybe I knew it for my brother, and I just joined my friend in the hospital for a blitz. It was only 4 months. It was terrible, but with major lessons for life. The first thing was that it's fragile. Terribly fragile, from 1 second. By the way, that was 4th of July, this date, this picture. You can be smiling, you can be happy, and then you turn gray and smaller, and eventually you die. So life is fragile. You need to appreciate every second. You need to enjoy the journey, and it's not always fair. You can fight. You can give the best fight of your life, and really, we talked with all experts. We had all doctor professors, we did whatever we could, but we couldn't save her. And so you can't win all fights. It's another lesson that, some people learn it at the age of 10, some people learn it at the age of 25, 45, sorry, or whatever. Again, we learn what's really important in life, which is life itself and health. But another good thing, and always to finish with an optimistic message, is that there are many good people in life. When you need help, you just need to raise your hand, especially in the Jewish nation, by the way. So all the experts, from Boston to Arizona, you name it, Australia, everybody wanted to help. Everybody helped. And that was really heartwarming to see. So that was a good message. So that's it. Enough with sad stories. Let's talk business. And so how come I got to cannabis? Because when we were in the hospital with Zohar, a father who is a kibbutznik but never touched cannabis, he told me one day, he came with a green bottle and said, with some green oil, and said, look, it's crazy. The doctors want me to give cannabis to my daughter. Can you imagine? And we talked about it, and we said, should we give it? Does it make sense? And I started learning about this stuff. And he decided, yes, let's give it a shot. And it really did good to Zohar. And obviously it didn't save it. It didn't save her, but it really did good. She felt much better. She ate, she started eating. It was less painful for her. Her mental situation was better. She was less angry. It did good for her. And then I said, there's something in it. Like I opened a file for it. And about 3 years ago, I decided that enough with software. Okay, it's fun to move bits and bytes from side to side, but I want to do something tangible. I want to touch something. I don't know if you see this product that I'm holding, but I'm at last, for the first time in my life, I can hold the product that I'm selling or doing. People actually use it and consume it, and then it ends, and they want more. After 30 days, they ask for more, which is great. And then I decided to do something completely different. I remember the cannabis story, the medical cannabis story. And then I started thinking about it. I traveled to Colorado and California to learn the market. I found out that the market is booming. And I also met this person over here, Professor Rafael Meshulam. He's the one who found out about CBD. He's about 90 years old. By the way, if you'll ask him about me, there's no way that he'll remember me. But I met him a few times. I just sent him an email and asked him to meet. He obviously agreed. We said that there are good people in life. He knows all about cannabis and CBD. And I told him my story, and I told him that I want to do good, but I also want to succeed financially. And he said, Gilad, if you want to do good, you should go to the seniors. Everybody are targeting younger people with cannabis and CBD. Everybody are fighting for the millennials and younger generations. But if you want to really add value, go to the seniors. They are the one that really needs it. When people are getting old, the pain, the joints starting to ache, the muscles, sleep is not the same, and so on. Go target the older people. So I went back home and studied, read a lot of market researches, and found out that there's, that doing good meets great business potential. Actually, if you're targeting the seniors or the baby boomers, as we call them, they shop a lot in the internet. Their retention is much higher. There's great business potential over there. Also, we can do much better for them. We can help them fight age symptoms, and it's great. And then to sum up, why did I even started this thing is because I found out that, there's a good business potential with a good way to do good for people. The cannabis market was booming, and the research is just starting. There's more and more. By the way, you cannot, still even today, you cannot publish and advertise everything freely on Google and Facebook. So even though it looks crowded and it's like nothing, it's not even close to being to its exhaustion, because you didn't even start the mass advertising over there. And the benefits of CBD are now well known for the well-being. There is revolutions in regulation throughout the world. And of course, we said there is substantial potential physical benefits for seniors, for people, which is great. So I said, what the heck? Forget about software. Let's do Botanima Organics. So we set up on a quest to become a successful environmentally and social responsible company that actually does good for people, do good for people. We wanted to help our customer live their life to the fullest, by the way, like my father did. So hopefully every customer of us will dance with tens of Brazilian dancers in Rio de Janeiro in 2048. Let's define CBD for a second for those of us who don't know. So cannabis also for me was this person. When I thought about cannabis, I always thought about those people who the ganja men, the guys with the rasta that likes to get high, and that's cannabis. But actually, our market is more of this lady, maybe 20 years older, which we call the hamster or the CBD. Those are I wouldn't say educated, but people with high higher quality of living, that knows about their health, yoga, mindfulness, people who care about their health, open-minded. They don't take it to get high. CBD is the component of the cannabis plant that doesn't get you high. It's the medical component of the cannabis plant. You can drink a bottle, you wouldn't get high, but it has tremendous benefits for the human body, for the skin, and therefore you can do amazing things with that, with the CBD. So I'll dive into the CBD market. Obviously, when I started this, another lesson I learned in life, by the way, if you're not strong enough, you cannot do good to anyone. Okay, if you're bankrupt, forget it, right? You cannot help anyone. You cannot even volunteer. You cannot even do anything good for society. You cannot even pay taxes if you're not if you're not successful financially. And therefore, if I looked at the market and only the CBD market, okay, only this medical not even medical cannabis, the medical component, the non-psychoactive component of cannabis, which is the CBD market, you can see that it's growing rapidly, about 44% year over year. And then if you look at the skincare market in general, you see that it's growing dramatically from year to year. There is tremendous need and void for online brands, more and more. It's just starting. The online quest of what we call in Israel cosmetics, but of skincare is just starting. Sorry, there's tons of potential, and that's the time to get into it. And there's less competition in high quality, premium, affordable, actually, as we call it, high quality of CBD skincare products. We really found out that there's a niche over there. There's great potential over there. And this is where we wanted to focus. Also, if you look at the skincare market, you see that if you focus on the States or the States and Japan, you covered 50% of the world. So it's very condensed. You can be very, very focused and have tremendous market, which is great. So you can focus in the States, then open Japan, and there's gazillions of dollars over there. You don't have to deal with the EU and those different languages and irritating persons. And if we look at the baby boomers, we said that we want to target the older people, like 55 and up, 50 and up. Most of us think that they are not online, that they're not shopping online, they're not there. But if you go and search the market a bit and read some market researches and so on, you find out that their average shopping cart is the higher, and their retention percentage is the higher, and and this even before COVID. They buy a lot on the website. They don't use TikTok, but they have other ways to be engaged and to buy things online, and they definitely do so. So there is tremendous potential over there. So zooming into, so what do we do with all this information? So we opened up a well-being line, and we opened up actually 4 product lines. One of them is the well-being. It's for people like myself. I'm all well, everything is good, but I want to feel a bit better. It's like vitamins or food supplements. I want to sleep better. I want to be more balanced. That's the well-being line. There is a relief product line. This is for people with sleep problems, for example, or anxiety or certain pain in the muscles or joint and so on. So you have a specific problem and we give you the solution. By the way, this is excellent for online marketing. For example, we learned that ladies at the age of 45, 50, they start hating this. In Hebrew, we call it midaldel. I don't know how you call it, fudge, whatever, this skin that is. So there's an opportunity. And you can actually drive marketing campaign to designate this specific pain and drive traffic to your website, drive revenues to this specific product. And then they get used to the brand and to the other products and they buy more and more. Also about this area in the neck, which is the age of 45 or something, it's a pain, and we can give a solution. And more pains that we designate a specific pain. Obviously, we came up with a skincare line because women drive economy, women and Trump, not Trump anymore, but just women. And so, there's great potential over there, and therefore we chose to go with the skincare line. And I think this will be the greatest revenue stream moving forward. And a central line, because as interesting as it is, or surprising, one of my investors is about 60 years old, and he told me, Gilad, people actually are having sex after the age of 50. No way. But he says yes, And so I trust him because it's his money. Any question, any objections? And anyway, we also have a central product line with body massage oil, intimate oil, and so on. So again, trying to answer specific pains or needs or challenges of aging. So this is our skincare product line. That's the branding. You can see, by the way, that what we try to do is to create a reliability or something so people will trust the brand. So we try to connect nature and science. So it will be very, very look scientific, but not medicine. It will look green, connected with nature. That's why Botanima, like botanical is the name. That's what we tried to do with the branding. Hopefully we succeed. And the rose gold is to make it look premium, affordable luxury, so they can pay more or they agree to pay more. By the way, if you have any questions or something, feel free to stop me. If I'm mumbling, by the way, my mom always say that I'm mumbling, raise your hand and I'll switch to Hebrew. I'm much better in Hebrew. But if not, I'll just continue. So today we're done with product development. We're ready with an inventory to sell. Actually, in a couple of weeks or so, it will be on our fulfillment center in New Jersey. We have all the digital assets. We have the website, Instagram, and all of those, Facebook, and all of those. We have some physical sales channels as well. So everything, we have like a Ferrari car on the road, ready to hit the gas. And we are now raising money for fuel. Fuel is actually for marketing budget, so we can do marketing very decisively and efficiently, and as aggressive as it is. So we're now in the process of raising money. So by the way, if you have wallets over there, you can start pouring money into this presentation. Eli asked me to talk about challenges as an entrepreneur or in this as a CEO of Botanima. And so what's kept me busy is first of all, COVID was a nightmare. I'm familiar with software. So for me, things look very easy. If I want to change the color of this bottle from gray to blue, from green to blue, it's just like that. I tell the programmer to play with the pixel and it will be blue. But when we're working with Chinese in COVID and you want to change the color, then it's a few weeks until you send them the request, until you receive the request and he send you the sample and you manufacture. And then if you want to move something from China to the States and there's no containers and there's a waiting list in Los Angeles port, and it was a nightmare. But hopefully it's behind us and now we have everything ready in the States. But that was a big, huge challenge for me, especially as a small company. Regulations, I think, is a huge challenge because they're changing, they're evolving on a monthly basis, especially in Europe, by the way. In the States, it's quite stable, but it definitely affected our payment solutions, which is quite difficult to receive and get like online payment solutions for CBD. Insurance, it's not trivial to have an insurance, product insurance, and so on if you're in CBD. And also advertising, which takes me to the major challenge, which is marketing. At the end of the day, we must succeed in marketing. There's no successful company if you're not successful in marketing. Today I'm busy with raising money. Again, by the way, we don't have to raise money. We have inventory and we can definitely start doing like guerrilla marketing, sell our inventory, all is well, and build like a company and grow it slowly. But I think it's more interesting to raise some capital and do it aggressively, decisively, and in the most efficient way, and the way to have some impact on the market. We talked about marketing. With your permission, there's a long roadmap and it's fun, but I'll jump through it, leave it for questions if you like. And then we'll sum up things. Very short summary of the key takeaways that I wanted you to take from this boring presentation. So the first thing is life can be unexpected. Enjoy the journey. Go dance with Brazilian dancers, travel Tibet, Guatemala, have fun. Open companies that you enjoy in doing. By the way, I suggest that the next presenter will be Guy Ozeri, the CEO and president of the Ozeri Pita Break. His story is much more interesting, fascinating, and successful. So Eli, he enjoys the journey and is one of my best mentors.
Noted.
Okay. And free pizzas for everyone on this session. Let's note this as well. The second thing, I guess that most of you have daughters or boys, tell your kids that they can do it. Really, they can do it. They deserve, push them, tell them, you know, they can't die. It's illegal to die. But other than that, never stop running horses. Tell them that they can do it, push them to the edge, trust them, give them the confidence. And then the last sentence, that again, for me, it's a motto for life. תמיד הכי חשוך לפני עלות השחר. So it's always the darkest before sunrise. But then the sun will rise and things will be good. You get free pizzas or something. For sure, something will be good. And so that was me. Hopefully I didn't take too much of your time and managed to say, you know, just one thing that you can take home. Business or not business. I'm very happy to answer any question or any comment that you have.
How much money do you raise?
So we raised $950,000 about 2 years ago. And now want to raise about $1.5 million or something. That's the
For
we
marketing?
can do, by the way, 500 will be the minimum. That's what we need for minimum, you know, to start marketing and to have some insights and to start rolling the machine. But I think that $1.5 million is what we need in order to, you know, go aggressively.
And the plan is to focus in New York area, if I understood it, or
No,
Los
actually,
Angeles?
Actually, it's an out of the box. So, so what we did, everybody are focusing on Los Angeles and New York. So what we did, we researched the states. We looked for cities, even small cities in comparison to the states, but we have higher percentages of baby boomers, like Southern USA, Alabama, the places where, at least for the beginning, are the long tail. So first, let's get some victories. Let's drive some revenues in a small cities where you have higher percentage of the population that we like, and there's less competition in Google and other. Let's make some money over there. Let's build the brand. Let's get some revenues and then target the bigger cities.
Gilad, thanks for your time. Yes, it's definitely very inspiring, interesting, and touching journey that you shared with us. Can you elaborate a little bit more from the inception of the idea of that you decided to do something in this market? How did the actual idea to a product and the whole process of the research and development of the product before it came to life, to fruition?
So to be honest, it's a process, and it's like I'm always thinking that if I'll succeed, then in a few years, you know, if I'll be like all those brave people that, like in the army and the Air Force, they tell how brave they were and how smart they were. But it was just like an evolvement. It was less, you know, I found about cannabis. I wanted to do something tangible. I met this gentleman. He gave me some. I studied about the market, but the product themselves. And again, for me, I think that it's only luck. It's pure luck. I was looking for a CTO. Okay, for me, CTO used to be software guys, but now a CTO is a formulator. It's someone that knows how to, you know, build those formulations and manufactures the product. So I started looking and I talked with people and said, I want to meet such guy. And then I met a guy that, you know, 90% of the people will say, I'll never work with that guy. You know, he looks half crazy. He's a pedant. He's like a Yeke Potts. Well, it was nothing like the CTOs, like the Russian CTOs that I used to work in software. But he's like to the spot, and he's crazy and he's accurate, and he it's luck. Okay, so he in 2017 he used to have a big factory. It's a very successful company on his own, and he had an accident. He just fell in the stairs and broke 7 julio chain in his spine, and it was done. For 2 years he had to sell his business, and when I met him, he wanted to get back into business. He wanted to get back into development. So for him, he met this young guy who can take him back to market, who can prove that he called it, I still have the magic in my hand. For me, I found a partner that, it's like a win-win. Luck, I don't know. So he developed it. We did like a year and a half of development, cycles, try different senses, different smells, different products without CBD, with CBD, tried it on many, ladies. Until it was, and many of the products are, I get, and this is fun, by the way, I give it to my mom and her friends and they give me more. I need more, it's ended, I'm done, send me more. And so it's fun. See that the product is successful, it does good. Like pitas.
So Gilad, I have got a question, and full disclosure, I sort of joined this webinar reluctantly because I know Gilad for a long time, and when I met him, he didn't speak a word of English, and he was an adult at that time. So it's really surprising that he actually found a way to converse with people that English is their first language. So good for you, Gilad. But I was wondering, sort of, you targeted the crowd that the baby boomers, and so I always wondered about that, because it's a crowd that okay, you capture now, and let's say that you're successful. Eventually, it's a crowd that sort of will be gone before all the other crowds are going to be gone, and they may be connected to other brands, and then it's going to be sort of a little bit harder to pivot your brand to younger people. What were your thoughts about that when you sort of decided to go for baby boomers? Was that the dilemma, or it was a sort of a no-brainer for you?
So the to be honest, it was no-brainer. I didn't run the math, but it did. The question did come up after we did the, and I can share with you presentations with tens of slides, convincing myself with graph and so on why we need to target the baby boomers. So I can give you a very accurate mathematics answer why we did the best decision. But to be honest, to talk about that on the contrary. What we looked at it is that life תוחלת חיים, expectancy, is just getting longer and longer. So those customers that I have, the retention is the higher. I have them for many years, and more people are, joining this age. I can tell you that my daughter, Amit, whom she really wants us to make a brand for younger people, because she taking some of the products, the hand creams and she really wants, I want to do it in Instush, TikTok, and it looks so great, and give us a pricing that I can sell to my friends. So I think that quite easily we can build a brand for the younger people. It's not interesting for me. I think that my vision is to build a community. Or, I think that if I'll be able to become a dominant player in that niche, then I'm happy. Then we can build another company or another brand, or let Amit manage the younger brand. But I think there's great opportunity in this age. If we will be able to stay focused in this age, and the branding is for them and everything, and the product, the formulation, everything, then I think it's a big enough opportunity.
Have you considered the collaboration with one of the cosmetics companies, either in the US or in Israel? Because building a brand, it sounds easy, but it's a huge task. It's very hard to achieve. It's very expensive, of course. I'm familiar with many companies that actually produce the product and sell it under another brand, and everyone is happy. They use the channels, they use all the export agents.
Mm-hmm. It's an exit strategy. I considered it as an exit strategy. What we see is that the bigger companies are acquiring companies like us, and it is a challenge. But if it was easy, then everybody would have done it. But it's one of the exits. I think that if we'll be able to succeed to get some traction. Also, on the story of the CBD, if you look at our website, it's not a cosmetic, it's not another skincare company. It's like we are the age pirates. We're helping you to fight age. We're fighting specific pain and itch. And yeah, and then when you get familiar to the brand, yes, you have some other products. But I think that one will be able to crack it. Then what you see is that bigger cosmetics companies, as you said, acquiring smaller brands. You see brands from Asia, big company like Shiseido and other are acquiring brands in the States, Western brands. You see cannabis companies acquiring skincare companies, like small brands at ridiculous margins, like high tech. because they do not know how to deal with skincare and stuff like that. So I think that if we'll be able to succeed, will be interesting both to big cannabis companies, that worth billions of dollars, and to Asian companies that want to enter the American companies, and to cosmetics companies that, in a few years CBD will be legal. And instead of developing, there's a nice brand named Botanima, let's acquire this brand. It's an exit strategy.
Do we have any more questions?
So I can go back to my whiskey now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Gilad, on behalf of Paul Mirage and the Mirage Institute, thank you so much for taking the time today to enlighten our Mirage tribe. And that was wonderful. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that.
תודה רבה.
ביי, תודה חבר'ה. ביי, thank you.
Bye bye.